Niger Republic, July 26, 2023. A coup d'état by the country's presidential guard removed and detained President Mohamed Bazoum. Thousands of young Nigerian men gathered outside a stadium in Niamey to support the military junta. They were answering a call for non-military roles in defense against possible intervention by other West African powers. Organizers were so overwhelmed by the response, they had to halt the census. In today's video, we will delve into the revealing history of Niger's past colonization and the coup against the country's ousted president, Mohamed Bazoum. We'll uncover the events and struggles that ultimately led to French control and the subsequent fight for independence. Let's begin our journey. Before the European powers arrived in Niger, it was home to rich West African cultures and empires, like the Songhai and Kanem Bornu. These societies thrived, trading goods and ideas across the Saharan trade routes. However, as European nations sought to expand their empires across West Africa, Niger caught their attention due to its natural resources and the desire for economic dominance. In the late 19th century, France initiated its colonial ambitions in West Africa. In 1890, French military expeditions, led by Captain Casemajou, established French military outposts across Niger. These expeditions were met with resistance from local communities who wished to maintain their autonomy. In 1898, the French secured the Treaty of Niamey, granting them control over what would become French Niger. The Anglo-French Convention of 1898, also known as the Niger Convention, was an agreement between Britain and France that concluded the partition of West Africa. It fixed the borders in the disputed areas of northern Nigeria. This convention marked a significant moment in the colonization of the region. Following the treaty, the French established a colonial administration in Niger, imposing their political and economic structures onto the region. When the French colonized Niger in the late 19th century, the region primarily relied on traditional subsistence economies based on agriculture, trade, and pastoralism. The French colonial administration aimed to extract resources and establish control over the territory, but they did not heavily invest in developing industries in Niger during the colonial period. Instead, they focused on exploiting the region's natural resources and labor force for their own benefit. It's important to note that the French colonization of Niger was marked by exploitation and extraction rather than the focused development of industries. The colonial administration aimed to maintain control over the region and extract resources, but they didn't prioritize substantial economic development that would benefit the local population. It was only after Niger gained independence from France in 1960 that efforts to develop industries and modernize the economy began to take place. One of the more significant developments was the exploitation of uranium resources, which became a major export for the country. The French exploited Niger's natural resources, enforced labor policies, and restricted the development of local industries. As years passed, the people of Niger began to forge a collective identity and a desire to break free from colonial rule, leading to a series of significant events. In the 1940s and 1950s, Nigerian leaders such as Hamani Diori and Jibo Bakari began advocating for Niger's independence. They organized political movements, held protests, and rallied the local population. On August 3, 1960, Niger finally gained its independence from France. The people celebrated their newfound freedom and began shaping their own political landscape. Today, Niger continues its journey towards national development and integration with other African nations. Under the leadership of President Mahamadou Issoufou, Niger aspires to join the African Union and strengthen continental unity. This process includes collaborating on regional initiatives, fostering economic partnerships, and promoting cultural exchange. Niger Republic, July 26, 2023. A coup d'état by the country's presidential guard removed and detained President Mohamed Bazoum. Thousands of young Nigerian men gathered outside a stadium in Niamey to support the military junta. They were answering a call for non-military roles in defense against possible intervention by other West African powers. Organizers were so overwhelmed by the response, they had to halt the census. A delegation from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, flew in to hold talks with the junta and also met with ousted President Mohamed Bazoum and the junta leader General Abdramanchiani. The acceptance of the mission by the coup leaders signaled a potential willingness to negotiate. ECOWAS doubled down on its threat to use force as a last resort to reinstate President Bazoum. The junta accused Bazoum of treason for acting in the interests of a foreign state. Parts of the population see ECOWAS as the armed branch of the former colonial power, France. The leaders of neighboring Mali and Burkina Faso sent military planes in solidarity to Niger's coup. This is the position of Niger now in 2023. as we conclude our exploration of Niger's colonization and its dreams of joining the African Union. Let us remember the resilience and determination of Niger's people throughout their historical struggles. Join us next time as we uncover more fascinating stories from around the globe. All comments are welcome. Thanks for watching the video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.